In 2025, the landscape of America's defense strategy changed dramatically as President Trump's proposed budget cuts to the Pentagon stirred intense debate among lawmakers and military officials. As the implications of these cuts began to sink in, a rising wave of protests erupted, led by veterans and military families advocating for stronger defense funding. In response to mounting pressure, the administration held a press conference attempting to justify the cuts while outlining plans for reallocating funds towards domestic programs. As the weeks passed, the effects of the budget cuts became evident on military bases, where soldiers trained amidst dwindling resources and uncertainty about their future preparedness. Military leaders convened urgently to devise strategies that would safeguard national security, all while families faced the emotional toll of deployment under these new circumstances. Amidst the national conversation, experts weighed in on the implications of cuts, emphasizing how diminished military resources could lead to increased risks in volatile regions around the globe. In light of the challenges, military representatives came together, focusing on collaboration and innovation to adapt to the financial constraints affecting their operations. Communities across the nation engaged in discussions, with heartfelt stories emerging about the real-life implications of military budget cuts on service members and their families. As the debate intensified, grassroots efforts took shape, mobilizing citizens to advocate for military funding, driven by the understanding of the sacrifices made by those in uniform. Inside the Pentagon, leaders engaged in critical discussions about the long-term ramifications of the budget cuts, grappling with the need to adapt strategies to maintain security. As troops prepared for deployment, the emotional farewells underscored the dedication of service members and their families, all while concerns about military readiness loomed large. In the halls of Congress, intense debates raged over proposed military amendments, each representative weighing the delicate balance between budgetary constraints and safeguarding national security. Behind closed doors, military leaders closely monitored international developments, aware that every decision made would have profound effects on national defense capabilities. As community forums sprang up across the country, veterans stepped forward to share their stories, reminding citizens of the sacrifices made and the stakes involved in budgetary discussions. Military personnel trained diligently, adapting to fewer resources and making the most of what they had, while constituents actively voiced their concerns to lawmakers about the future of military support. The stark contrast between soaring aircraft and grounded planes represented not just a loss of operational readiness, but also the emotional weight carried by families affected by these critical funding decisions. In committee hearings, experts passionately testified about the potential fallout of budget cuts, while veterans reflected on their service and the uncertain future that awaited current and future generations of military personnel. As the sun set over the military base, it marked not just the end of the day, but a significant period in defense history, with families watching closely as the narrative of military funding unfolded. In a bid for unity, lawmakers from both parties came together, seeking common ground to address the pressing need for adequate military funding, while veterans found comfort in shared experiences. Negotiations unfolded with urgency as defense officials sought to navigate the political landscape, while service members around the world continued to serve with unwavering dedication amidst the challenges they faced. Mobilized by a sense of urgency, military families rallied together, demanding that their voices be heard while troops trained diligently, embodying the dedication needed to uphold national security. In the halls of Congress, military leaders presented compelling testimonies, highlighting the critical need for adequate funding, while children at home expressed their unwavering support through art. As strategies were formulated in military operations centers, families prepared for joyful reunions, carrying with them the weight of uncertainty surrounding defense funding and its implications. Military leaders inspired their troops to remain united and resilient during challenging times, while veterans took the opportunity to educate younger generations about the sacrifices made for freedom. At a defense industry conference, innovators explored creative solutions to maximize funding efficiency, while military spouses found solace in each other's stories, navigating the emotional landscape together. Communities stepped up to support military families through events and resources, emphasizing the importance of solidarity, while service members built connections with civilians during friendly sports competitions. In an effort to bridge gaps, advocates and lawmakers convened to propose solutions that would safeguard military funding while families maintained emotional connections through technology despite physical separations.